3 people have died after a shooting in Gwinnett County. Ariana Manise is live on scene. Ariana, police say one of the people who died is the suspected gunman.
Yeah, that's right, Cheryl. We learned that suspected gunman shot himself, but he also shot a man and 2 other women. Police, they were initially called to this home for what was an aggravated domestic situation, and they say the suspected gunman showed up to the home with a gun, and by the time officers arrived, the gunman and another man were fatally shot, and 2 other women they found suffering from gunshot wounds.
The female that survived and one of the deceased males were in some type of relationship and were known to each other. So that's what we know at the time. We're still trying to determine motive. Crime scene still investigating and collecting evidence.
35 minutes east of Atlanta, Georgia, lies Snellville, Georgia. It is a developing suburb that is a part of the bigger Atlanta metropolitan area. In Snellville, on January 29, 2024, at the View Luxury Apartments, a family was preparing for a hearing for a protection order the next day. According to 24-year-old Rosella Jones, she was in a bad situation with her estranged husband and was getting her affairs in order to protect herself and her kids in the future. However, in a horrific turn of events, before she could make it to court on January 30th, her estranged husband would pop up in the middle of the night, and what he did next would change multiple people's lives forever in the worst way. After the tragic events that took place on January 30th, one family member would tell her story through a GoFundMe that she created to help her as a widow mother of 3. That woman is 24-year-old Rosella Jones. Before telling her story, let me tell you about those involved, though. Rosella had been in a relationship with 26-year-old Frank Wilburn Jr. for about a decade. The pair were very young when they started dating and even became young parents. The pair, originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, had their first child when Rosella was 16 and Frank was 17, just 5 days shy of his 18th birthday. The pair would attend prom together in the spring of 2016 and took pictures alongside their daughter. Frank would also graduate high school that May, and by the next year, Rosella would graduate high school as well. It was just the 3 of them and their young family for the next couple of years, and the 2 ended up having another child, a son, in March 2020. At some point throughout their relationship, the pair got married, and according to Rosella, they moved to Atlanta a few years back from 2024. The pair would welcome another child in November 2023, a little girl, but according to Rosella, things had been bad for years. Rosella's father, 51-year-old Corey Jones, was a retired Army veteran, and his wife, 55-year-old Dana Jones, was a retired police officer. Rosella's father and stepmother were some of her biggest supporters and moved to Snellville, Georgia to be her backbone while she was preparing herself to move on from her husband, Frank. Corey was a loving father, grandfather, and husband. He loved the NFL team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and definitely did not like the Dallas Cowboys. Corey and Dana were newly married, and she as well was a loving mother, grandmother, and wife. Dana was previously married for years and had endured some health scares in her life. According to her loved ones, she had beaten severe heart disease in her 40s, where she required an LVAD, which is a left vertical assistance device, in her heart. Then when COVID hit, she would post and share that she had it while laying in a hospital bed. Dana was said to be a fighter, and she herself said that the doctors told her she was septic. Sepsis is a serious condition in which the body responds improperly to an infection, so in turn, it was affecting her lungs and kidneys. Fortunately, Dana would win her battle against COVID, and after almost a month in the hospital in February 2021, she was finally able to go home. Sadly, Dana and Corey's marriage would be short-lived because of a horrific act of violence. Like I stated before, Corey is the father of Rosella, which is his youngest daughter, and it seems he would do anything for his kids. These are the roles of Rosella to explain the tragic situation that happened at Corey and Dana's home on January 30th, 2024. My name is Rosella Jones, and on Tuesday, January 30th, 2024, my life changed forever in the worst way. I had been in an abusive relationship for 10 years, and out of the relationship, I had given birth to 3 beautiful children. Being a stay-at-home mother was not my choice, but rather a result of an abuser restricting me from making my own living. 2 years ago, we relocated to Atlanta, unaware of the escalating abuse that would be ensued. My father and his new wife uprooted their lives from Philadelphia and relocated to Atlanta, bound to be my support system. With my abusive husband still in the picture, I had no choice but to move in with my father and stepmother. Determined to protect myself and my children, I filed for divorce and sought a protection order. However, on Tuesday, January 30th, 2024, my life took a drastic turn. After a heroin escape from an abusive situation in Philadelphia, I made the decision to return to Atlanta with my mother to attend the hearing for the protective order put in place. Unfortunately, my abuser Frank Wilborn Jr. had other plans. When he reached my father's house, my husband decided to commit an act of unimaginable violence. Frank shot and unalived both my father and stepmother. He also shot me in the leg. He tried to unalive my mother as well, could not locate her. He then turned the gun on himself. At that moment, my life was shattered. My beloved father and stepmother were taken away from me. The shock, pain, and trauma of the event will forever haunt me. After experiencing this tragic event, I am struggling to pick up the pieces of my broken life. Because of my abusive husband's selfishness, I have lost my father and stepmother, and I am now responsible for our 3 children alone. This GoFundMe page has been created out of a necessity, as we are currently facing unimaginable hardships. My abuser, who has shown immense cruelty and disregard for my life, took the life of my support and lifeline. I now find myself the sole caretaker for our 3 children. Frank, despite his selfish actions, I am determined to provide the love and support they need. Due to the suddenness and urgency of the situation, we had no choice but to uproot our lives and move back to Philadelphia within 24 hours. This abrupt transition has left us without any basic necessities, including undergarments, shoes, hygiene products, food, and medical supplies, and etc. Thank you for taking the time to read my tragic story. Thank you all for your generosity in advance, and I appreciate any help you can provide. You can read my story on Fox 5 News. I thank you all in advance, Rosella Jones. This young woman has lost so much at one time and was also shot herself. If you would like to see her story that's attached to her GoFundMe and would like to support her as well, I will link the GoFundMe up top in this video, in the comment section, and in the description box of this video as well. It seems that she had gone back to Philadelphia not that long ago and came back to Atlanta with her mother by her side as well, so she could go to court with her too. So her mother, father, stepmother, her, and her youngest daughter that she just had in November 2023 were all in the home that night before court. Now the news story gets the ages wrong for all the victims, but I did verify the ages, and Corey was 51. He would have turned 52 in February. Dana was 55, Rosella is 24, and Frank is 26. Dana also has a GoFundMe account set up by her family, and I will link it as well if you would like to help her too. According to the official police report, Gwyneth police said shortly after 1 a.m., officers responded to a domestic disturbance at the View at Jacks Creek Apartments located at 2300 Country Walk. When they arrived, they found 2 men and 2 women with gunshot wounds. One of the women and both of the men passed away from their injuries. The other woman, who was Rosella, was taken to the hospital, but she survived. The incident is being investigated as a double unaliving and suicide. They have identified the victims as Corey Jones, 51, of Snellville, his wife, 55-year-old Dana Jones of Snellville. They are the 2 that resided in the home where the shooting took place. The suspected shooter was also identified as Frank Wilborn Jr., 26, of Loganville, Georgia.
3 people are dead and another injured in a double in Gwinnett County. The shooting happening overnight near Snellville. 11 Live's Molly Oak live for us tonight outside of the apartments where this happened. So Molly, what do we know about what happened here?
Yeah, that apartment complex, the views you see right behind me, is just an apartment complex off Highway 78. Now, we're near the entrance, but that double happened all the way toward the back of the complex at 1 in the morning.
And we saw all the commotion. We were like, yeah, what's going on? And 2 seconds later, everybody pulled up.
One neighbor says he heard a loud noise.
Like a shotgun, like something big, because I heard it, and I live in the back of the building, and it was very loud.
That's when he and another neighbor walked outside.
We saw the police show up, and once we saw the tape, we knew it was something bad.
Gwinnett County police say the call came in as a domestic issue.
We believe one of the female occupants in the house called 911 saying a male subject that is known to them was outside with a gun. So at that time, officers obviously rushed to the scene.
Police say officers heard the shots as they were pulling up.
The apartment was located at the very back of the complex, so everything happened in a few seconds.
Police say they found 2 men, 27-year-old Frank Wilborn Jr. and 52-year-old Corey Jones. They also found 2 women shot. Both were taken to the hospital. One of the women, 56-year-old Dana Farmer, died there. Police say Wilborn, who died, was from Loganville and was the shooter.
The couple was set to have court here in the same day the tragedy took place. Rosella had just filed for divorce on January 18th, and a temporary protection order was issued the next day. This is a tragic story all the way around, and my deepest thoughts and condolences goes out to all the families involved in this horrible situation. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts on this situation and your prayers for this family in their difficult time. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and share to keep your people aware. And as always, remember, stay woke. Things change quickly.